Let's talk about moisture meters here this morning. This is a Wagner pinless moisture meter. And what I mean by pinless is a lot of moisture meters you'll see, there'll be a small little, little plastic housing like this, and there'll be two little prongs that stick out on this side that you shove into the wood. And those are fine. I don't own one, but a lot of people use them. I'm sure they're great. But this is a pinless one made by Wagner, and Woodmiser sells them. That's where I got it from. And the way this works is you just lay it on the board on this pad here on the bottom, and on the front of it you set your wood species right here. As you can see, I got a little cheat sheet there on the front for maple and walnut and oak, all the native hardwoods to Tennessee, and you just lay it on the wood and it tells you the exact reading on it. And the reason I'm showing this here today is I'm taking some of these maple slabs, and I think I got some cedar and walnut in here, going to the kiln that I've been using for the past few years. In case you're wondering why I'm still using that kiln, well, my kiln isn't done yet. I got the power company coming on Tuesday to do some work, so hopefully by the end of July, today's the 14th, I should have that kiln done and up and running by the 1st of August with the first load going in. But anyways, I got some spalted maple and some other things going on here on this slab rack I got in front of me, and this needs to get to the kiln as I got some people waiting on this wood. So anyways, what I'm doing is I'm checking the moisture this morning. I checked it a few weeks ago and I'm pretty sure it's ready to go, but I'm gonna do it one more time before I take it on. And the common question I get on this channel is drying wood and when do you dry it? And what I do on these 8/4 slabs, which is 2 inches thick or bigger, 8/4 2 inches, but most of my slabs are at least 8/4, sometimes 9 and 10/4. What I like to do is I like to get them below 20% moisture content before I take them to the kiln. Anything over 20%, in my experience and the experience of other sawyers I've talked to over the years, is really hard on the wood when you put it in the kiln, and it's hard to really get it to 12% and below if it's over 20. So by taking it when it's 20 or less, it really lets nature do a lot of the work and taking the moisture out of the wood. And when it comes out of the kiln, you have a better chance for success in a good slab if it's less than 20, because it's a lot less stressful on that slab getting dried in the kiln when it's less than 20%. Another question, how long does it take to get to less than 20%? Well, that depends on where you live. In Arizona, pretty fast. In Tennessee, a lot longer, sometimes at least a year or more. And the old saying of a year of air drying per inch of wood is really not very accurate, or at least it's not for me here in Tennessee. 1 inch lumber, if you're letting it air dry to 8 or 12%, which is hard to get to just by air drying anyways, it takes less than a year here. In the summertime, just most of the time, just a few months as it gets so hot. So anyways, we're going to check the moisture on this maple here and this walnut, and I think I got cedar in here also, and get it to the kiln today. The good thing about unstacking your drying stack pretty much is you find a lot of wood that you forgot about. This is an 8/4 walnut. Look at that crotch figure right there. This board is about 20 inches wide. Okay, on top here, these I got about 4 walnut slabs, but they've not been sawed too long ago, so I'm sure they're not ready. But just to do an example here, we'll check them. .9. This slab right here is 3 inches thick, and it was sawed last summer. No, last fall. That's when I sawed it, last fall. So it's been over here air drying since then, and it just shows it takes a while to get to less than 20%. And you can get different readings. You can try to move this thing around, and this thing is still really wet. Over here I'm getting 29 and 30. Right here toward the middle, 32. Now 32 is as high as this moisture meter would go, so that's way above 32% more than likely. Over here toward this edge, about 22, 23, but you want to get a good 20% reading at most places on the board. You don't want to go nowhere over 20 anywhere on the board. So in essence here, when you're taking these woods off the stack, of course these ain't ready for the kiln yet. These also are about 28%. They're way too high. It's like Christmas again all over again. When you open up these logs, it's like Christmas. And I try to stack them and forget about them. because the eager person would get to want to use these way before they're ready. As I was saying before the phone rang, and that was another guy looking for hemlock. It's amazing. I get 4 or 5 phone calls a week for people looking for hemlock. So any of you loggers out there that are close to Tennessee, if you're looking to move that wood, bring it to Tennessee, because people around here are crazy about it. They call me every day almost looking for hemlock. It's just amazing to me how much people love that stuff around here. Anyways, what I try to do when I saw these things is forget about them. Because if you sit there and get them on your mind and you think about what you want to build with them or who you can sell them to make some money, you know, they won't be ready in time. You try to forget about this wood because it just takes time to dry. You just got to be patient with it. And the air drying is the biggest part of the process. And I've seen guys take wood to the kiln fresh off the mill like this, 8/4 thick. And at the end of the day, what you're going to get out of that is a bad slab, with some issues when it comes to making furniture out of. Unless you got one of those radio frequency kilns, and I've been reading about those lately, and the Canadian woodworker over on Instagram, he's got one of those things. He says that you can put an 8/4 slab straight from the mill into that kiln, and in 10 days be down to 8%. That's amazing to me, and he dead stacks it in there, no stickers. He just stacks it right on top of one another. I think it looks like they put aluminum foil between them. I think the Chinese or the Japanese come up with that method. But anyways, this is some fantastic walnut here. This will be some nice tabletops here in probably maybe the fall or maybe springtime. This stuff will be ready for the kiln. Depends on airflow and the heat this summer. Now the hard part's going to be trying to forget about it again. There's the nice maple hiding under it though, and it's ready to go. That gets your mind off of it pretty fast. Ambrosia spalted. I think it's curly also. Take a look here. Alright, we're down to the maple here, and the reading on the maple, I'm getting around 13%, and these are all 8/4 slabs. Came from the same tree. 17's the highest. 15. I think this log laid for about 3 years. A friend of mine gave it to me before I sawed it. It was on the ground for at least 3 years. I barely got to it in time before it was a little bit too far gone. But should have some nice wood out of it though once it comes out of the kiln. So this is ready to go. 15. Good consistent level over the whole board is what you need to know that you're way below 20, and we're in really good shape on these. A little bit of eastern red cedar in there. 8/4. I forgot that was even in there. I'm sure it's ready to go. Cedar you can usually take straight to the kiln as soon as you saw it. It's one of the only woods I know of like that it really doesn't stress it at all.
They remind you of your own.
One quick thing here, I gotta take my son to his grandparents' house for the day, then take this wood to the kiln. And if it doesn't rain, I may do some sawing as soon as we get back. I'm not sure yet. The weather will decide that. A few weeks ago, I asked you guys to vote for my project over on the Wood-Mizer site, and a lot of you guys did, and I really appreciate that. And you can vote for that project every 7 days up until July 29th. And today's the 14th. So I got a link in the video description below. If you guys don't care to take time to go over and vote for my farm table, I would really appreciate it. And what I'm trying to do there is win that prize money, which is store credit through Wood-Mizer, so I can get a grinder so I can do all my own band mill sharpening here. Right now I have to ship my blades off to Wood-Mizer. I'd like to do it here if I could. So anyways, I really appreciate it if you guys take the time to do that. You can vote every 7 days, so linked in the description below. And another quick update here before we go. I should have another kiln video coming out the first of next week. Me and my dad's gonna be doing a lot of work on it first of the week, and the power company is finally coming out Tuesday to get my power going to it. So that should be first of the week on the kiln. And next Wednesday, I believe, I'll be going back out to Jonesboro where I got that walnut at on July the 4th. She got a few walnut trees left and a few cherry trees, so I'll go over and try to finish that job up also. And the follow-up to that video, for you guys wondering, and the comments below really showed that, was that poison ivy on the trees. But yes, it is, and it is itching me to death. It's all over me. My arms, my shoulder, on my hip. I'm not sure how I got it on my hip, but it is all over me. So you guys are writing those comments, it really got me there. That's probably the worst poison ivy I've ever gotten into. I'll be sure to wear long sleeves next time. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. It's probably not coming through the phone here, but every time I try to do a video here at my house, up here in front of the house, I got a neighbor who's always mowing his yard. He's retired, in his 80s, good old guy. Comes over here sometimes. He mows that yard 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Sometimes he's mowing it and the blade's not engaged. It never fails. Every time I try to video, he's always mowing. Mows all the time. I don't understand it. All the time. Maybe when I'm in my 80s, I'll be mowing my yard all the time too. We'll see. But anyways, let's get to the kiln and see what they got over there. They've always got something interesting over there usually. Well, this was meant to be a little moisture drying video on the moisture meter, but it's kind of turned into a vlog type video, and Bruno thinks this is funny. Bruno, is this funny? Best boy in the world right there.
Who they are, or if they'll stand alone. When a voice says, come together, and they make a perfect tone. It's when you realize that you've made it to the patch of dirt that you're standing on. That you're standing on. You see faces